All right, so OpenAI had a really cool live stream today that was really exciting. And I'm Enzo, I'm the founder of Prism, and we build apps and websites for businesses to help them grow revenue. And a huge way that we do that is with AI tools. And I mean, the whole way in all of our product implementation process and everything we do for these businesses is all using AI tools. But a big part of what we do with our clients is like we help them get more AI native and integrate these tools into their business. And of course, there's like a bunch of nuance to that. And part of that kind of dovetails into like why I'm so excited about that live stream that we saw earlier this morning. So I'll leave the link to this in the description if you guys want to watch the replay. It's about 20 minutes or so. But you can see here that they're making updates to the business plans, connectors to internal tools, custom connectors with MCP, ChatGPT record mode, and flexible pricing. So this is super exciting to me because 100% like this is the main thing that I use AI for. And it's like the biggest unlock for me is like basically at Prism, we work with so many different clients and different segments, market segments, and different kind of focuses and things like that, like different kind of products that they sell, completely different customer bases, all of that stuff. And the way that our internal businesses work and everything. And for me, like the one of the biggest ways for us to deliver value for our different clients that we work with is to first understand, kind of where they're at. There's some kind of process where you have to really understand their current tech stack, their current design system, their current analytics, like everything. And then who are the key stakeholders, what's been done on this so far, and getting like that download of everything. And so there's so much this handoff process of a lot of this stuff is super messy. Like when for us, like we're an agency, we come in and we're basically supposed to get onboarded as quickly as possible. And we want to create value for our customers as quickly as possible. But to do that, there's some level of knowledge share that has to happen. And a lot of times, like actually most of the businesses that we work with, most of the founders that we work with are not super tech native. And so it's hard to get even like these things are like, getting the right access and permissions to all the different files in Google Drive, or getting the right access in their analytics. Or for us, like we do websites and apps. And so one of the big things is always like transferring the website. Like a lot of times the clients we work with, they already have an existing website that they've been using for a while, like maybe, and it can have different levels of complexity. Like this guy, like Olympic Bootworks, it's an e-commerce shop. Right. And so we had to get in and understand the existing architecture of the e-commerce shop, and then build a brand new one, and then do that whole transition process. And that can be really difficult if there's not anybody in the company anymore that is still technical or has that kind of knowledge. And so that's why this is so exciting, because basically the way that we get that knowledge is by conducting a bunch of different meetings and like interviews and over email threads, like just asking questions or like, different things like that. But basically it comes down to like, meetings and emails and things like that. And with the meetings, of course, we generate all the transcripts and everything. And then we have AI systems and agentic AI systems that basically take these meeting transcripts and email threads and everything that was like really core to a customer's interaction. And then we're making sure that all of that is inside of the AI LLMs that we're using and the agents that we're using, so that they have full context and they're always up to date and super aware, so that I can go back and ask them like, hey, what were the main action items from this meeting that happened 3 weeks ago from this other client that we haven't worked with, like, or done anything with in a while, or that like what was that tiny bug that we talked about, or like this feature or this adjustment that need to be made to the website or to the app. Like just literally like all of those details, like literally, like if you're a founder, this, that just like the devil's super in the details. Like you got to know all this stuff. And the more of it for me and for running Prism, it's like that. But then also just like understanding, like it's not that I have to just know that. I have to know and be deep on all of the data and information. And like I'm the go-to, like Prism is the go-to for like anything tech related, like anything related to the online components of the business. Like we're handling that. And so we need to basically, to do our job as good as possible, is just like any other like developer or PM or marketing expert or whatever, like is to have, the up-to-date, like latest and greatest data from all the different channels and sources, and to really have like the latest and greatest from everything. And right now, it's just, this process is not clean. Like seriously, it's, I mean, even with O3, I think that's what's interesting too. I noticed is that they're using like 4.0 when they're doing this, which is kind of cool. That you don't have to. I think that we're from a product perspective, we're starting to shift away from this concept of like needing to select the model from the drop down every single time. So yeah, I think that that's just kind of cool from a product perspective. Like I like just seeing these things get easier to use, but honestly, like the ease of use thing is great to me. Like I like that, but I'm somebody who's a power user on this stuff, right? Like I mentioned, we use this to run like our business and all the other businesses that we're helping. So usability and being super easy to use isn't the main, but the thing that is an issue for me right now, and the biggest unlock, like the thing I get the most excited about, is having better data sources fed in, like in a higher quality, fed into these LLMs, so that they hallucinate less, like just so they can have more context and have more data. And so it's just the slow, like it takes time basically to download all the transcripts and upload them to O3 every time, and then ask questions about the transcripts in the meetings. Like all of that, it's great and it's like magical compared to where it was like a couple months ago or whatever, or years ago. It's insane. Like it's magic how much that these things help with transcripts and everything. But in doing meeting recaps and kind of before I started Prism, I was a product manager, and that's really like what you're doing as a product manager. Like you're trying to wrangle in like design and your founders and engineering and marketing, and you're trying to pull all of these worlds together to like get the best thing. And you're constantly trying to build alignment. And in most organizations, there's just people that are like, they don't like that, or it's hard, like they don't make it easy. It's always really hard. As you're a product manager, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And so this is going to really, really help with that kind of a thing, I think. And so I'm just super excited about that. We were literally, this week, we're working on these reports for basically this group that has like an annual event, and there's dues for the group and everything, and they're trying to figure out, like, make a data-driven decision about whether or not to increase dues. And so they're looking at all this historical data of like, okay, how have the dues increased for the program over time? What's the value that we're creating? How much do the events cost? Like, start looking at the P&L, all that, and it's all in this Dropbox basically. And so you'd imagine, right now it's literally this process of our reps were pulling stuff out of that Dropbox, like manually auditing the files, but then also uploading them to O3 and then getting like some assistance and help with it for it to parse the data and like propose ideas and things like that for the report and everything. But it does hallucinate, and it's not perfect. It doesn't get all the data. Like sometimes it makes mistakes about it. And so I get so excited about this, where they are like, just from the design perspective, it's very deeply, like, it looks super integrated into the app, like Dropbox. It looks like it's coming straight from Dropbox. It looks like that data source is super clean. And I know that like on the back end, if they're adding like a kind of feature like this, I think on the back end they have it really streamlined out, and it's working super well. And yeah, that's what I want to see. Like, please, Altman, like, just keep moving it more towards like getting better results and like hallucinating less, and being able to basically increase the context window and look at more files without making mistakes. And then also like reducing the strain on the user to add all that context to, ChatGPT, instead of like downloading a bunch of files and dragging them into the interface. I love how this is just automatically connected to, your different data sources. And so you can just ask it. I think that this is naturally like everybody is racing to build this, but it's also like the landscape is still like, we're still kind of like trying to figure it out and everything. And people are just like building the airplane as it's falling off the cliff type of thing. So I don't think anybody really knows, but like what this is going to look like in the final product form. But I just think that it's so key that all this information, it gets fed into the system in a super clean and seamless way. And I'm thinking like, thinking about for me, like for Prism, for our use case, like how do we get all of our business information into GPT along with all of the business information that's happening in real time, for all of our different clients, right? In all the different service areas and where customers are interacting with their businesses. And how do we get like a really detailed view on this so that we basically are always making a really good decision as to what like thing to prioritize to work on, and we're building that in like the fastest but also like the best, highest quality way possible. Like that's really what the flywheel is. And it's just like technologies like this, like these guys are working so hard on this, and it's just something that it's so exciting because like I think it is a huge unlock for me, for Prism, for all of our customers and clients. I'm super excited about, but just like generally, like I just think it's going to be really, really good for all businesses, and just that it's getting both these two vectors of it's getting like exponentially more powerful, but it's also getting exponentially easier to use, where it just naturally connects to all of your stuff and it just works. I think a lot about like the iPhone and like the first iPhone, and how much information it knew about you and your business, and just like how personalized it was to you back then, versus now, like where it's kind of like in this way more refined shape where it knows everything about you and everything, and it's super personalized to you. And I think that's really where the AI like products and technology and like companies are going to are moving towards that iteratively over time. And it's just so exciting because with every new release, instead of like a new iPhone coming out every year or whatever, it's like every literally week or every day, man, I feel like there's new announcements coming out with the stuff that's making it better. And this is even just like, reporting and like writing type of thing, but this isn't even going into like the coding space. Like, God, when every single time these things move more in a place where they're just hallucinating a lot less, and like literally like you can one-shot prompts, like, and you can prompt in different mediums, like not just text input, but you can like talk to it or take a picture or something like that. And that basically like I should only have to prompt it one time or whatever, and it should be able to do more and more things that like are aligned with what I actually wanted to do, like not off on some crazy path down the hallucination kind of road. So this is super exciting. I'm so thankful. I think this is the coolest time ever to be building a business and to be working on technology and working on products. So really excited. I hope this was helpful. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments though. And if you're interested in a website or an app for your business, or you want to really level up revenue, head over to our website and schedule a meeting with our sales team.